Welcome to the 2022 Penrite ProMX presented by AMX Superstores. We are in Wonthaggi, a seaside town located 132 kilometres southeast of Melbourne, known for its mining history and heritage sites. But this weekend, we shake the place up for round one of the ProMX Championship. Hello, I'm Kate Peck, and with me is 11-time National MX champ Lee Hogan. Hogs, it is excellent to be kicking off the 2022 ProMX season with you.
It sure is, Kate. Welcome to the Motocross pits. It's great to have you here. What a fantastic sport we've got on our hands. I tell you what, we're so excited to be back here for round one. After we were cut short tragically last year, we were so devastated. But wow, they put the weather on for us, the sun shining, complete polar contrast to what we had last year. The track guys have done a fantastic job. The riders are all keen to get into it. Exciting times.
Yeah, round one fever and excitement. You can feel it up here, and especially with this incredible view, we've got an action-packed year ahead. So what are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to the spread over all three classes. MX1, MX2, MX3. Very, very deep field, and quite possibly the deepest field that we've seen in all three of those classes. I love MX3, the unknowns. I guarantee you there's going to be some names that we haven't even heard of that end up on podiums throughout the year. A very exciting young lad, Caden Minier, still 2 years left in juniors, favourite to win the championship, almost unheard of.
And of course, as you mentioned, the classes are stacked, but who do you think is going to bring home the bacon for the Thor Mx1?
Well, look, a lot of people are talking about the battle between Kyle Webster and Luke Clout, the newcomer versus the established #1 star. And I think we're going to see that go right the way through the whole season. It's going to be a bit of a tug-of-war battle between them. We could see Aaron Tanti in there in the mix as well. However, it's going to be so difficult to stop Kyle Webster here on home turf this round. He's going to start the season exceptionally well, and from there, they're going to have to try to peg him back, but I think it's going to be hard to stop throughout the championship.
And what also is excellent is having the MXW class back. It's presented by Easy Lift this year, but we've got about 25 girls that are going to be lining up on that gate.
Yeah, correct. So we've got about 5 or 6 girls that we're going to see out battling for the lead. And we've got a couple of girls that are well up there into their high teens, 18, 19, towards 20. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the winner of the championship for 2022 is going to be a young girl who's just stepped up from juniors into seniors only a few weeks ago, not that long ago. So watch this space.
Go on, what's her name? Fill us in.
Well, I'm going to keep that on the down low. Can't give you too much info.
Okay, all right. Well, let's check out what we've got on track for today. First up, Thor Mx1 Moto 1, followed by the young guns in Max's MX3 Moto 2, then the stacked field of Pirelli MX2 Moto 2, and finally the big boys battle it out in the final MX1 race Moto 2. It's going to be chock-a-block out there today. And to preview the track ahead, it's former Pro MX athlete Danny Ham.
We open up the account for the Michelin track preview here at Wonthaggi ProMX 2022. First thing we notice when we come out here this morning is simply how much dirt has been put on top of the track. Now, we all know the start line is one of the most important parts of any race. We've covered that so many times. We go through our first few corners, but here in Wonthaggi, it funnels down into this really tight part of the track. Now, 40 riders in a stretch of track that's only 6 meters wide, there is not a lot of room for any of these guys to get through. So you'll see a lot of bar banging, a lot of elbows up, really aggressive riding, trying to get that position early on in the race so that they can get a much better start to their moto. The one thing I did want to point out though is the fact that it has been built up so much has created these really high edges. And as you can see right here with how tight and narrow it is, putting 40 riders in here inevitably will probably put someone off the track. And if they do that, they're going to have to go down these edges and then somehow try and get themselves back up onto the track without tangling themselves in these banners. So that alone is going to present a big challenge for these riders when they open up their moto race accounts.
Now, traditionally, when you think of motocross, you don't necessarily think of big jumps. And here at Wonthaggi for round one of the ProMX, we've actually got a couple of big senders on our hands. And the biggest is right behind me here. Step up out of the corner, 23 meters from the tip of the takeoff all the way to the tip of the landing ramp. Another thing I'm liking here in the way that they've prepared the track here at Wonthaggi is they've dragged quite a bit of sand up the takeoff ramps. This could cause a little bit of grief for some of the riders out there and how they tackle it. If you have a look over my left-hand shoulder here, you can really tell the distance on this 23-metre booter. Well, now we can see here from a rider's perspective, once you land off this biggest jump, it's not just negotiating your way over this jump, we actually have to try to tackle by far the most trickiest and technical part of the circuit, these sand rollers. Now, as you can see, it's weaving its way through to the right, which makes it extremely technical. And it's famous here for bringing riders unstuck. We're going to see a lot of passing opportunities here, and riders are going to have to be on their A game and change their lines as the track evolves throughout the moto.
Adding to Lee's part from over the back there, those set of words, we have another set right here. The one thing I want to point out before we even move is simply how soft this soil is at the moment. Now, they've poured a lot of dirt in, we've discussed that already. This is not the final product though. We've been assured by the maintenance crew that these nice, soft, rolling whoops are going to be much harder to get through. They're going to build them up, and it's really going to test these riders. Anyone that wants to be at the front of the field this weekend has really got to bring their A game. These are going to be tough. The rest of the track is going to be tough. It's going to be rutted. It's going to really challenge these guys. And that there is going to be your track preview by Michelin.
Excellent stuff, boys. So we're on the start line of the Thor Mx1 Moto 1, and right here is Kyle Webster. This is his favourite gate, and we are about to take off, so I'm going to get out of the way and throw it back to you boys in the commentary box. Enjoy.
Thanks, Kate. Yeah, now, as you mentioned, Kyle started just to the right of the dog box, right in that spot where everyone likes to get. He's going to position himself into a perfect spot going into that first turn. Now, we're about to see the drop of the gate. This is just the sight lap for these riders, so they can head out and have a little bit of a look around the track.
I think they might have actually been out there for their side lap lead. This looks like they're setting up ready to go.
They sure do.
There's the 102 machine of Matt Moss, the Yamaha blue bike just there, back wheel right onto the edge of the track. We are set to get the first race of the MX1 underway for 2022. Who is going to launch out first? Moss with a big jump out, but he is going to be trumped by Thor Webster.
Our pole setter with the fastest lap time earlier on he got himself a 139.154 and was in an absolute league of his own. The only other rider to get into the 139s was Aaron Tanti, second fastest. But have a look at the lead that he's got already over arch rival number one with that red background, Luke Cloud, our reigning champion in the MX1 class for 2021.
Oh, right off the track there. It looks like it was possibly a Honda. He's back onto the track now, or possibly a Gas. We'll pick that up in a moment.
Good position for Kurt Gibbs in third place there on the orange machine. Freshly signed with the factory KTM machine for 22.
Matt Moss back there in fourth place. One rider down there, that is the 49 machine. Cody alone just onto the up ramp of that jump, and already you can see how much of a lead has been stretched out by our lead rider. I think Tanti could be there. No, maybe Ferris. I'm not sure. There's a Yamaha there battling it out with Matt Moss that was just in the back of shot. But look at that lead already from Kyle Webster. Small mistake there.
A little bit of a mistake. They've put an enormous amount of water down during the lunch break here. So, of course, MX1 Moto 1, this is the first race after lunch, so you can see so much water on the track. And, of course, the 100% whole shot going to Kyle Webster, and that wasn't even a close one.
No, that was easy to see. A good swing into that first turn. As we see on the side, the Thor leaderboard shows exactly where everyone sits on the track at the moment as they complete their first lap. Webster leads this one out. Cloud, he's still looking like it could be a potential for running up there. Third is Gibbs. Tanti, new to the CDR Yamaha Monster Energy team, is up there in fourth place. Very quick in qualifying. Ferris behind them. Waters, Moss has dropped back a couple. So we are set up for a pretty decent start to this race. Can anyone get up there and run with Webster?
Well, if you could have written your perfect script for how Moto 1 would go here, the two big hitters, Kyle Webster, Luke Cloud, out in first and second. Just as we say that, Webster is starting to stretch the lead out. He's
down.
He's down. That is not what you want on lap 2 of Moto 1, but he does have 25 minutes. He didn't stall the machine. He's still in great position here. silly little mistake there in the early stages.
Here we go for the Honda replay. Just watch this. The front wheel goes over the top here of that little rut.
Yes.
And then it just drags him down.
That could have been so much bigger. As that moved off to the right, if it had a knife, that would have been a massive over the handlebars. He definitely got a get out of jail free card there.
Okay, so this is going to bring a lot more interest into this race. We're not going to see Kyle Webster just run away with it. Now the test begins for Kyle Webster. We know how fast he is. He set the quickest time today in qualifying. Can he come through the pack and push all the way back up to the front? You don't give this guy, though, a lead like this. Luke Clout.
Well, our timing's showing Gibbs still in second place, but from what it just looked like Tandy's moved his way up into second place before from that little handout shot. So I want to see what's going on with Gibbs and where he's gone, but also it looks to me like Tandy's already started to reel in his teammate a little bit.
Last laps around, Tanty was a little bit slow. We'll get a real proper reading this time around. Fastest lap so far in this one, 1:49 goes to Luke Clout. 50 for Tanty, 50 for Todd Waters as well. So you're right, we have lost Kurt Gibbs. He's somewhere along the lines in these opening laps. He's dropped himself back to 6th place at the moment.
What a dream start for Luke Clout here, carrying that #1 plate. I remember having a chat with Regan Duffy yesterday, walking through the pits. He said that red plate is heavy. We had a bit of a discussion about it. I know exactly what he's talking about. For some people, that red plate can put that added pressure and make life a lot harder for you. But if you've got that right mindset, that championship mindset, it can make you puff your chest out a bit and gain in confidence. And I believe Luke Clout's the type of rider that enjoys the red plate and that #1 on his bike.
But Clout still maintains that 4.2-second lead.
Yeah, so Kyle Webster's moved up to just 1 second behind Todd Waters. Sorry, it's getting much, much closer. He's 3 seconds and just dropped the fastest lap of the race so far. Kyle Webster, we need to keep our eyes peeled on the factory Honda HRC rider because he is coming and he's coming hard.
There he is, going past the mechanics area. Beautiful pickup by our camera guys to pick up exactly where he is. He doesn't look out of control, though. We have seen those small little moments. That was a quick glance at our race leader that just went through. And you can see that is an entire straight in front of the man we are looking at the moment, Kyle Webster. Now the Todd Waters in shot just to the left, sorry.
One of the very special parts about Kyle Webster is his absolute crazy amount of fitness on and off the bike. He really enjoys his cycling, his mountain biking, but on the bike, you will never see him fade, even if he's carrying an injury. He just doesn't slow down. He's a machine.
Great shot there just a second ago that showed the distance between 3rd and 4th, Waters, Webster. And I think we are going to see something play out before this race is done. Will he get up to Aaron Tanti? It's going to be a tall ask, but he is still pushing out very quick lap times compared to everyone else.
Well, at the moment, we currently see 15 minutes still on the clock before we will receive that 2-lap to go board. And we've got a 5-second interval basically between each of the top 4. From Clout back to Tanti, 5.1. Tanti back to Waters, 5.3. And back to Webster, a further 5.6. So we're just kind of treading water here at the moment, waiting for something to happen. And I believe it's going to come from the 96 of Kyle Webster, who's going to try to make his way up into that top 3. At the moment, I think we'll find Luke Clout on the CDA Yamaha Monster Energy bike is very happy to continue logging good laps in the book here. This track is the kind of track that can bite you on the bum if you do something wrong. You make a wrong line choice, you put your front wheel somewhere that it's not supposed to be, and you can find yourself on the deck like Kyle Webster did on lap 2.
Interesting just there as they went past the mechanics area. For anyone that is new to motocross, that mechanics put out that board there to give the rider some form of information. Now, that made no sense to me. What we had, TRS. I'm not sure. We're used to seeing either a lap time or maybe time to go in the race, a position on track. But TRS, that's something that they've worked out within the team amongst themselves.
Yeah, it's obviously...
And, yeah, it's something a little different, yeah.
Yeah, I think generally the way that you normally think of it is if you're in the lead and you're very comfortable with where you're at, you generally want split times from your mechanic to put on the pit board so you can see sometimes the gap between yourself and the next rider, but most of the time what your times are. So it's almost like a race against yourself. You pretend that like it's a midweek moto. But if you're in the middle of the pack, sometimes you need some words of inspiration. As we have another little bit of a look here, Hayden Melross on the inside and Kurt Gibbs around the outside. Beautiful shot. Have a look at the quality of the footage with that slow-mo there. That's an incredible shot.
That was a good little battle all the way around the outside. It was a big effort for Gibbs to try and push around there. And on our screens, it looks like he has made that pass. So good effort there, but this is a super strong ride by Luke Cloud at the moment.
Last lap of 150s, 2 seconds faster than Aaron Tanti and 2 seconds faster than Todd Waters likewise. A 148 for Kyle Webster, who continues to come. So he is 4 seconds faster than third and second place riders.
Right now, he should be sitting on the back wheel of our third place rider, Todd Waters. They'll be going into the mechanics area probably around about now, and it's really going to tighten up here. I think with the way it's going, he may even get in second place with those kind of lap times. So
yeah,
great to see a wide shot here. See if we can see it in the background just there. So look, just here, sorry, butting in on you, but I just saw where Tanti was in second, and then the other riders just behind them were coming into view. So good battle about to heat up.
So from Kyle Webster.
Nice. Sorry, Lee, but the pass was made. Go for it, mate.
And so from Kyle Webster's point of view, the main thing he wants to try to do is to get up into at least second place. He'd love to get the win, but at least second place. So he's in for a running for the overall. Because second in this one, get a win in the final race, hey, you've got the overall, fantastic.
Well, Clouds continues to motor himself up in the lead. 8 seconds clear of everyone else. And we still see that gap back to Webster has closed in as well. Waters back there in fourth. Letman still holding down that next place. Another super slow-mo. One of the riders going down. Oh, that's Waters. Is that Waters? We'll have to pick up on that if we can.
Back on screen with Luke Cloud, CDR Yamaha Monster Energy rider, continues to put down hot laps, but they are not as fast as Kyle Webster's, who has made his way up into third place. And we have a look now, 147, the fastest lap of the race so far, just dropped by Kyle Webster. Does he have enough time to catch up to our race leader? We were thinking that a second place could be on the card so that he could potentially try to go 2-1 and get the overall for today. It's not completely out of the question to go 1-1. Have a look at his mechanic, egging him on there. Let's go.
That's what you spoke of a second ago. Lap times between the two riders to show that he is doing quicker lap times. And I think he can visually see it. Is that correct? Did I just see a glance?
Yellow flag out. That's a lapped ride. We'll try to pick up who that is, number 22. But yes, absolutely. He's only just a couple of seconds within striking range of Aaron Tanti on the CDR Yamaha Monster Energy bike. Nice little slow-mo. We also, in the process of catching that crash there from our number 22 rider, we managed to see a nice little boot of the rear end of that Yamaha machine on Luke Cloud.
9 minutes left to go in moto number 1 as we see that Foreman rider back up and running. No harm done there. And those lap times still being run by Kyle Webster.
Sometimes it'll pay off, sometimes not, but it's looking like it could come into his play right here.
3 minutes 45 left in this moto. Moto number 1 of Thor MX1 class. Cloud still super strong out in front, but he will have a fight on his hands within the next couple of laps. 3.4 seconds, the gap between them.
Well, if anyone knows how to control a lead and fight right the way to the end and not give it up easily, it's Luke Cloud. He's not just going to roll over, so Kyle Webster's going to have to fight for it. And we've already seen that he's prone to a little crash at the start of the race, and certainly a mistake just there. We've got another bike with a little bit of smoke coming off it right there. And that's number 56, who is Riley Stevens.
Very similar lap times between our first two place getters at the moment. Danny, we've got Luke Cloud with a 150.9 and Kyle Webster with a 150.3. So only taking up approximately a half a second from Luke Cloud that time, and that's not going to be enough. I think Kyle Webster will sense that urgency. And what do you think?
Oh, off the track.
Oh, off the track and almost collecting a hay bale there as he comes through. And is that Kyle Webster has just spotted that? He would have seen that and he'll be ready to pounce.
Yeah, these are the things coming through these back markers that you've got to watch out for. There he is, right there on the right of screen. That is our second place rider, Kyle Webster. He can feel him right now as they go up the top here.
Let's have a look at this replay here. And this is, of course, Luke Cloud exits stage right, trying to miss a lap. Rider hits a kicker there, almost lands on a tough block. Well, not even a tough block, one of the original hay bales, and that's allowed Kyle Webster to latch straight onto the back. Here we go, Danny. This is the battle we've been waiting for.
Through this right-hand turn. Very calculated ride at the moment by Clouds. Barring that small mistake just a moment ago, Webster isn't sitting in the better position at the moment. He has the room to move. And we'll be looking for somewhere to make that pass on Cloud.
There's only 1 minute 30 on the clock left to go, but this battle really is a significant one. Cloud watched his arch rival go down in lap number 2. Oh, and he's gone down again. Wow, disastrous for the Honda HRC rider. He's got enough time to get back up and going, but does he have enough time to keep a hold of that second place? I believe he does. There was a 12-second gap.
As we take a look at this Honda replay, just watch the front end of Kyle Webster, just tucks it under there.
A slightly fragile run in the first part of the corner. Not enough stability to hold that front end in.
Can see the tyre track, sorry.
Just went straight over the top there, unfortunately. Was just a little bit too keen. This can happen in Moto 1 of the championship. He's going to come back into the pits. He'll get a bit of a debriefing. They'll have a bit of a chat with the mechanic, with your Konsky team's principal. They'll talk about how we can improve. Hey, we nearly won after a big crash. We've clearly got the pace. We've clearly got the start. Let's settle down for Moto 2 and see what we can come up with. But someone that we're used to occasionally seeing those kind of mistakes from, especially on this track here, we're not seeing from Luke Cloud. He is looking in championship form that we've seen last year, and he's representing that #1 plate exceptionally well.
You can't really call that last thing, the off-track excursion we saw with Cloud, as a mistake by Cloud. That was simply just avoiding running into the back of that lapped rider. So very good calculated ride, small tuck of the front wheel, just that part of the corner as he swings around. And time has now expired, so he will be seeing the last lap board around this time. Takes a quick glance over the shoulder to see where Webster was, and I'm sure he'd be wondering himself because he knew last lap around, especially through here, Webster was right there.
Yeah, and where Kyle Webster was when he had the crash with the tuck of the front wheel, he probably wouldn't have even heard that. It would have been a really quiet type of crash, wasn't on the gas. So about to tuck it through here, and he will receive the last lap board this time through, up and over the finish line, tabletop, last lap board out. Job done exceptionally well so far. Let's finish it off with 1 lap to go for the CDR Yamaha Monster Energy rider.
A 10-second lead over the rest of the field. It's an easy one for him to be able to close this one out nice and comfortably. Shouldn't do anything unnecessary or on the edge, you would think.
Luke Cloud looking exceptionally smooth through that auto light left-hander after that big tabletop.
Past the mechanics area for the final time. Moto #1 of the Thor MX. Sorry. The Thor Mx1 Moto #1.
Now this part of the track right here, Danny, we're used to seeing really hard pack and all that sand they brought onto the track. It really has done wonders for the track this year. And you've got to remember, we didn't get the rain, the hail, everything that we had last year. It really, it was tough conditions, but it played into our favour when it came to the track and how much water it could absorb into the track. This track here at Wonthaggi will just take as much water as you can throw at it.
It's one of the very few tracks that you can still ride when you have those horrible conditions that we saw last year. But it has developed up into a pretty damn decent track at the moment with the way these ruts have formed up. There's some good bumps out there as well. And just really testing these riders as Clout swings around this left-hander for the final time in this one, up to the big tabletop before he'll close this race out.
Well, if you look up in the dictionary, smart rides, I think you're going to see a little video clip of this one right here for Luke Clout, CDR Yamaha Monster Energy rider, second place out of the start, sat behind Kyle Webster, and a couple of mistakes from the Honda rider has put Clout into this position where he has been for the majority of the race. One turn to go, and he will be your winner for race 1 of the MX1 Thor class, and a fantastic job and a terrific way to start his championship campaign here at Wonthaggi.
Yes, I've got P1 Luke Clout. Congratulations at Yamaha Racing. That was so exciting out there. So talk us through your race because we're all just on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it's exciting for you guys because it wasn't too exciting for me. It was definitely a long race. Yeah, the arm pump set in a little bit there, and you know, I got gifted with Kyle going down, but you know, that's part of racing and part of the 450 class, trying to manage these races. You know, the track's quite tough, so you have to be smart. So got off to a pretty decent start, put myself up, pressured Kyle a little bit, and yeah, just rode my race. Felt pretty good. Can feel better, but you know, this is just basically a testament to the hard work I've been putting in on the pre-season, and you know, carrying the #1 plate.
And I mean, you could see the boards come up saying that he was catching you, and that probably had put a little bit of pressure on you there.
Yeah, look, I kind of made a bit of a rookie move because I was kind of gauging Tanny, and I seen that we were maintaining. If not, I was pulling a little bit, and I knew Kyle had gone down early in the moto, and then you know, over halfway, my mechanic brother put on, you know, Webster's coming, so that kind of caught me by surprise, and put a couple of good laps in there, but did make a few mistakes with some lappers, which is, you know, part of it. But, you know, Kyle made another mistake, and then I just brought it home.
Excellent way to start your campaign for the championship, considering you are the reigning ProMX MX1 champ. So good luck in Moto 2, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Exciting stuff, well done. A big congratulations to Luke Clout, who's just taken out the MX1 title for CDR Yamaha. Well done, Clouty.
Well, it looks like we are almost ready to get this one underway. You can see the Yamaha mechanics still in the middle there, with the umbrella just offering a little bit of shade for these guys. It is quite warm outside today, and there is a nice breeze. We're getting set for the Thor MX1 Moto #2, the final race for these guys for the day. Who will jump out first? All of our big hitters running around that middle part of the gate. The board has gone sideways. These guys are ready to go. Who's going to launch out and get that whole shot in Moto #2?
Another good jump from a Honda through the middle of the pack. It's one of the Honda boys, I'm not sure which one. Is it Kyle Webster with his second hole shot? Yes, it is. 2 from 2, but it's Aaron Tanti this time, who's locked himself there into second place on the CDR Yamaha Monster Energy machine. He's going to try to make a move and try to pounce on Kyle Webster. I tell you what, Kyle Webster will be very mindful not to make any early race mistakes at the moment.
7th for Luke Clout through turn #2. There he is, just in back of shot.
Yep.
We hold it there, just beside.
Another good start for Kurt Gibbs there. We've spoken about it briefly before.
Metcalf also on the 24. Oh, the two riders coming very close together there. That was Metcalf and Clout over that one jump. And still back there, what's that, in 4th and 5th, or close to it. Oh, that was Melross as well.
Yeah, on the gas machine.
So Clout 6th.
Already Kyle Webster just starting to edge away ever so slightly. Beautiful line up the inside, electing to launch off that jump up and over one of the braking bumps there. We'll take a bit of a look here. The 100% whole shot award going once again to Kyle Webster. He's logging up a little bit of coin there. Can buy some vegan food, that's for sure.
Tanti with a small mistake coming out of that left-hander. Both the legs off the bike just for a moment. Not too much of an issue, but those little mistakes, if you did them over and over again, can start to add up and start to play in your mind just a little bit. You need to get back into that groove like we've spoken about a little bit already in previous races.
Well, Kyle Webster looking like he's in fine form at the moment. He hasn't set a foot wrong. He hasn't stretched out too much over second place at the moment, but he knows he doesn't need to. He just needs to keep hitting his lines. He's got the speed and the fitness to go all the way to the checkered flag. And he's going to be hoping that Luke Clout has his struggles on his way, making himself through to second place.
by dancing around. Oh, slight mistake there by both our first two riders. Their legs kind of got tucked under there. It looked like just that rut that they anticipated going into gave way as they entered it. They managed to hold themselves up. Tanti still looking very good. Metcalf, I should say, looking much better in this moto.
Yeah, completely different line now. You see how low he was? It was really quite rough, but almost half the distance. So Luke Clout's starting to put a bit of pressure now on the factory KTM machine of Kurt Gibbs, carrying that number 5, looking very much like back in 2015 when he won his last MX1 Championship, Kurt Gibbs. Luke Clout doesn't want to spend too much time back there because he wants to set his sights up towards the head of the pack and at least be battling with his teammate, and then hopeful to get up to this guy here. Beautiful line there up the inside there.
Little step over the top of that braking bump and into that right-hand turn. You can see how loose it still is up in this particular part of the track. They drop down here, and that really hooks around that rut, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I guess what they're trying to do is not only stay on the inside, but bounce even further to the left to try to get away from those acceleration bumps. Because as you know as well as I do, Danny, when you get on the gas coming out of a corner and you start hitting those kicker bumps, it just drags your acceleration pace out of the corner. Not that it's a problem to get up and over that jump, but it's all about forwards momentum, and you can really feel that extra speed, can't you?
Clout there we saw really trying hard around the outsides, but it's so far around the outside, a long way. We see Todd Waters now starting to work his way onto the back wheel of Luke Clout. So Clout has got some work ahead of him. He really is trying, and he's going to have to change his game here in just a moment. As we see Waters closing in it onto the back wheel of Clout. Clout would have to go from riding offensive to defensive just a little bit, not leaving those outside lines, or the inside lines I should say, open by running around the outside, trying to find something different. It will play out over these next couple of laps, but I still feel that Clout will move forwards once he starts to settle in. Nice little square back across out of that corner there just to try and avoid some of those bumps.
Yeah, and the good thing for Tanti here in second place is he'll have his own lines that he's happy with, but he'll be able to look up and spot and see some of Kyle Webster's lines. And if he watches and looks and goes, okay, well, I've just come out of a corner here and Kyle Webster's managed to pull a couple of meters on me, half a second or so, plus his bike wasn't kicking around too far, hey, I'm going to try that line next lap around. And he's tried to make his way across to that inside as Aaron Tanti, but he didn't quite suck up and try to jump all the way to that bump.
Metcalf third, Gibbs still in fourth, Clout same sort of distance back behind them. Waters has dropped back off the pace a little bit. Melross behind them. Riker's back there on the Kawasaki in eighth. Dylan Wood, good start here in ninth place.
Beautiful pace from Tanti through those rollers. He actually reeled in Kyle Webster a little bit just there. I'll be interested to see when they come up over the finish line what that lap time was. The last time around, it was a 147 for Tanti and a 148 for Webster. Well, Webster has retaliated with a 147, likewise for Tanti. They've basically mirrored each other. Brett Metcalf at 146.9, fastest lap of the race so far. Quick little slow-mo replay of the drop of the gate here for Moto 2.
Yeah, well, Metcalf, that's the fastest lap of the race so far. So,
wow, that's impressive.
As we said, he definitely looked better in this race than he did the first one. We just see a lot of him.
Just looks a little smoother this time around, Kyle Webster, doesn't he? It just looks like he's a bit settled. That's nasty, that part of the track. Little in-swinger kick sideways for Tanti's Yamaha there. And that's, of course, the part of the track that bit Kyle Webster exceptionally hard. Far left-hand rut there for Kyle Webster, and beautiful sweeping line into that right-handed corner. This is the part of the day, as we see one of the riders going down, this is the part of the day where if you're one of those riders that can spot lines from a mile away, for riders like Luke Clout, Kyle Webster, it's like someone's gone and lit them up with a yellow highlighter. They can spot them from a mile away. Other riders will be out there, they'll be looking down near their front fender. All of a sudden they'll be riding through some totally gnarly line that they do not want to be on the track.
That was the 17 machine a second ago. Corey Watts, so unfortunate for him. A small little tip over there, just coming out of that corner. He's putting back just a little bit. As we see our leader looking probably more comfortable now than he did the opening laps. It's nice feet up, cornering through that corner right there. to the big left-hander here before. Well, we saw a lot of people having problems just here, but that was a nice little double over.
Yeah, I think what he's managed to do, Dan, he's managed to get himself into his rhythm. Even though visually he's only a couple of seconds ahead of Tanti, he's got himself into a rhythm. But once Kyle Webster's in this kind of rhythm, he's almost unstoppable. He didn't allow himself to get into that rhythm in that first race. I think, unfortunately, he just was like a bull at a gate. He was just charging that hard. Like we mentioned earlier, a little bit of the red mist in the goggles, but he's got himself into a rhythm now. It's going to be unstoppable for Kyle Webster here at Wonthaggi.
There he is, right on the back wheel of Gibbs at the moment.
He's coming.
Yeah, he's looking very good. There's a nice line.
Beautiful
there.
line around the outside.
And yeah, much more momentum going through that battle. Gibbs doesn't want to give it up, but very close between them. So expects a bit more out of Waters, I think, in this race. He does look a lot more comfortable. On that note, let's quickly go down to K-Pack.
Yes. We are here with Regan Duffy. Regan, now tell me about what you're seeing out there on track, because you described quite a few wild bits out there that you think some of the riders are going to get unstuck on.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if the cameras can really see it, but the track is breaking down massively. It's not as wet as I thought it may be, so it is drying out and it's getting a lot of ledges and stuff that the riders are coming unstuck on. But yeah, the front few guys are keeping it under control and they seem to be doing well. So we're seeing Clout charge to the front a little bit and Webster's trying to maintain it.
And mate, do you want to be out there or what?
Oh, so badly, but I'm stoked to be here. I'm stoked to be a part of this whole deal, being able to talk to you guys and watch a lot of my friends do really well today. So yeah,
well, we hope all the best for your complete recovery and to see you back out there as soon as possible.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Regan. Cheers, guys.
Well, Kate, that's just fantastic to have a quick chat there with Regan Duffy, of course. And for those of you that have been following our sport and fans of the sport, Regan Duffy 1 year ago, it's right about this stage of the day, around about the halfway point of Moto 2 of the MX1, where he caught fire and passed about 18 people, ended up getting the winner, of course, the overall win, the red plate, and held the red plate almost until this series was called. I'm sure most of you that are fans of the sport of motocross are fans of Regan Duffy and know his story, of course. Died twice in a helicopter on the way to hospital after a massive crash, life-threatening crash at the end of last year at a state title round over in Western Australia. So from all of us here, it's just fantastic to see him back over on the East Coast, looking so good, so happy, so healthy, and got that smile back on his face. So awesome to see you, Regan.
Things really heating up for third, fourth, fifth place at the moment, with Clout now starting to put the charge on. He has made the fastest pass. Metcalf, of course, Gibbs was a little bit earlier on, but Metcalf is under a lot of pressure as well from Waters, who's trying to tag onto the back of these guys and make these passes as well. So good battle here as Clout tries to move forward. 4 seconds behind, though, from Tanti. That's going to be a big ask if he wants to try and even consider getting equal points at the end of the day. But still, good opening round for sure.
All right, let's go down to Kate. What have you got for us?
I've got Craig Dack from Craig Dack Racing. Craig, those Yamahas are looking so fast out there. You're a multi-time winning MX champ, though. What are your thoughts on how your boys are performing this weekend?
We're really happy. We know that this track is a real Webster track. He lives here and he's a sand rider. Our two guys are from New South Wales and they're more hard pack orientated. But the focus has been on these conditions, so it's to get out of here with being on the podium, getting some good points, because the rest of the rounds are really advantageous, good for us. So we're happy so far.
And what are you seeing out there in terms of track, and considering all your experience with international tracks, how does it kind of stack up?
It's one of the greatest tracks in Australia here, because it's that really sandy loam, but you've got to be right on your game technically. We've been running a paddle tyre all day, which is the scoop tyre, purely soft sand. And we're going to the intermediate to soft tyre for this one, because it's got a little bit harder in certain areas. So by the way the boys are going, they're moving forward, so it's looking good.
Great stuff. Well, there's only about 10 minutes to go. You need to get back to your boys, and we'll send it back up to the commentary box. Thanks, team. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, bye.
Well, great dad. We shouldn't have been speaking. Well, we just had some couple of massive moments for our CD Yamaha guys. Both of them still upright. No need to run to Craig just yet, Kate, to let him know, but certainly a rough ride through that final part of the track for both of these guys, and that's allowed Waters to close in just a little bit. both of these guys are pushing. There's no doubt in that. And it just got away from him a little bit just then.
Yeah, well, the moment from Luke Clout all came from the corner prior to that big 23-metre step up. And Luke Clout drifted to the outside and got a lot of traction, and he jumped and landed almost to the inside of his teammate. But I thought to myself, you know what? This sets you up not really that well for these very tricky rollers. And sure enough, that bike stepped out sideways right when you don't want it to. But he's got the bit between his teeth at the moment, and he's trying his best to be able to get past his teammate, because it's not too far up the track to race leader Kyle Webster with still 8 minutes to go. But we also know, I just spotted Luke Clout have a look over his shoulder on the finish line tabletop, and he well and truly knows that Todd Waters is still right there in striking distance.
Yeah, well, Clout's now made that pass just through the inside on that one right-hand turn. And you're right, Waters is right there still, looking very comfortable. This is a bit of the old Waters that we're used to seeing, something that looks very comfortable when he's out on track, and riding exceptionally fast as well. All of these guys, 49, 49, 150 for all of these guys, so they're still well up there with the times.
He would have just given it everything he had for that. He would have come up over the finish line and just gone, right, what's happened? I'm gassed here from that lap. Oh no, he's pulled out 2 seconds on me.
Yep.
Let's just slot into salvage mode here.
Yeah, well, they'll still go away from the end of the day on equal points. Oh no!
Massive tuck of the front wheel from Kyle Webster. Another front wheel issue. And a gift. It is Santa Claus time for Luke Clout.
Wow.
And that, how much has that bent the bike up? Left-hand side, the left-hand number board is down. Is that the only drama that we have to the bike? Kyle Webster will just be shaking his head here.
Wheel again going into this. Is the bumps that unsettle the front wheel, or he just is too heavy on it?
No, just bulldozed that front wheel. The back wheel did not unsettle. It was just turning down, 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 bulldozing front wheel. And that was all she wrote.
Oh, he's going to go away from this race, kicking himself. He had that one in the bag.
What could have been?
Either way, though, he can go away from the race going, man, I was fast. He's got plenty of confidence knowing that he could win.
Yeah.
He just needs to make it happen. So that puts Tanti into second, and this is a stellar day for the CDR Yamaha Monster Energy team. If they can close this one out right now the way it is, man, what a day.
You've got to feel for Yuriv Konski. This was shaping up to be one of those days. A double victory for MX3 with Campbell Williams, double victory for Wilson Todd with MX2, and a 2-1 was staring down the barrel for Kyle Webster with an overall. It would have just been, you know, a dream day. It just doesn't start any better than that. The one, he's won so many 250 titles. The one that he wants the most is the 450, and but hey, you've got to finish to be able to get the job done, and unfortunately there's some lessons to be learned here. Great job from these guys. Todd Waters still to be up there in 3rd place and challenging.
This is the learning curve when you move up to the Premier class. It's one thing to ride it fast, but there's so much more involved in it. You need to be able to finish these races and do it without mistakes, and they come so easy on these bigger bikes.
Yeah, and I guess even someone, you know, that has the height of Kyle Webster coming in the pre-season form. And they went out here at the Wonthaggi track at the end of last year and did a race. Kyle Webster won against the likes of Clout and all the big hitters by close to half a lap a couple of races. So it was quite incredible, the pace, and just had everyone just thinking, oh my God, what are we in for with Kyle Webster come round one? Well, it's different once you get to round one and the pressure that comes along with it. I'm sure we've got a champion in the making with Kyle Webster, but you've got to do your time.
Moment there for Tanti as well, just coming out of there. I was just starting to think, has Tanti been running some quick lap times as well? A big moment just there a second ago was almost dragged him off the edge of the track. He didn't quite see or he got a little unbalanced on the rut on the outside. And unfortunately for him, just dropped back there. All that land that he gained on our leader, he just lost all again. So I think this is just how it's going to play out for the rest of this one. Just they're probably just going to ride it home from here.
Going off what Craig Duck said in his interview with Kate Peck before, and how we come into this round one knowing, hey, this is Kyle Webster's track. We don't expect really to beat him here. We want to be on the podium. you've got to be impressed with how Luke Clout's conducted himself here at round one. He probably would have known, well, hey, I got my work cut out trying to beat him, but let's just try to be there. Just position ourselves somewhere where, hey, if something goes wrong, we'll be there to capitalise. And I don't think he would have dreamed to be coming away with 1-1. No. It's a valiant job for him here at round one. Well, it's not over yet. We've still got 25 seconds before the timing clock ticks down to 0 and we'll go to 2 laps to go. However, we've only got ourselves a few corners or at the end of this lap. So we've got just over 1 lap to go here. And Luke Clout, they say that red plate's heavy. I think it's looking as light as a feather at the moment, Danny Ham.
On that bike, yeah. He knows how to control it, that's for sure. You got to remember back to last year. Remember, he was riding so well and he had the bike issues. Full turnaround for this year, isn't it?
Yeah, you couldn't really have had much of a polar opposite start to the season. And that sort of goes to show how incredible his season was last year to have had a DNF. And we only had 3 rounds, but he still won the championship. So, but he didn't have Kyle Webster up against him. That might have been a slightly tougher job at hand. Last lap board out. Luke Clout's already made his way and accepted that last lap board. He said, I'll take that. I'll head off into the distance. Teammate Tanti's still got a battle on his hands, and Todd Waters trying his best to notch himself a 2nd place here, which would be a terrific job here in Moto 2.
He's 1.5 seconds quicker that last lap, so is he putting in a final lap push right now to see if he can get himself up into that 2nd place?
Wow, he's a bit of a warrior. He's not known as the smoothest rider. Just pin it and grip it and rip it, I guess, is how you would explain Todd Waters, but he is built like a Sherman tank, and he will blast through anything on the track, no matter what you put in front of him. And the longer the race goes on, provided he's not suffering from some form of arm pump, he'll just keep going all the way to the checkered flag. But the mistakes that we've seen from certain riders who just have had basically no mistakes, the only thing that I think Clout probably would have changed if he could is not positioning himself the best out of turn 1 in Moto 2. He would have loved to have been that person there in 2nd place to be able to put the pressure on right from the get-go. But another impressive ride from Aaron Tanti back in 2nd place.
Yeah, I certainly expected to see him up there. I thought that he would definitely be a major contender just to get on the new team, get this first round out of the road, and a bit of a shakedown in race conditions. I think that's exactly what he needed to do. Get through this one and then start concentrating on building on his strengths from here.
And with a solid 2nd placing in this one, you know what? CDR Yamaha Monster Energy going to go 1-2. You can't get much better than that. Unfortunately, the man of the moment, Kyle Webster, threw it down a couple of times down the track, but no problems whatsoever. And what a win, and another hand up there, slapping down on that red background, the number 1 plate. That is why Luke Clout is number 1. Puts it together when it counts. Some very valuable lessons learned for Kyle Webster. But coming out on top with 2 from 2 wins here today at round 1 of the Penrite Oils ProMX Championships, brought to you by AMX Superstores. Luke Clout, the man of the moment.
I think he's even, I don't think he's surprised himself, but I think he's pretty pumped with the effort. He's certainly put in, you can see it on the face right there, he has put in.
He's cooked. Have a look at him now. Yeah,
it wasn't an easy race.
No, that's for sure. And it's such an impressive ride. I cannot say enough for Aaron Tanti back there in 2nd place. Boys have come up with the goods here at round 1. Todd Waters coming through in 3rd place there. The best lap of the race, can you believe it? I was going to say was Aaron Tanti, but that's just our top 3. Fastest lap still went to Brett Metcalf with a 146.999. Next fastest, Kyle Webster with a 147.09. So let's take a quick look here at the Thor Mx1 results. Luke Clout again victorious here in Moto 2 ahead of his teammate Aaron Tanti from Todd Waters, Kurt Gibbs and Kyle Webster rounding out the top 5.
Metcalf with a good ride as well, just fading off the back of that race just a little bit. Hayden Melross was up there again. Jaden Rikers, Dean Ferris with a better race this time after some troubles in that first one. Dylan Wood with a 12th place, as to Joel Evans, 11th place, so some good results there for some privateer riders. Joe Baldwin also up there. Joel Whiteman back there in 17th. Lockie Latmia, he's back there in 18th. Corey Watts up, we saw him on the ground as well, in 20th place. There is our winner.
And a very happy Luke Cloud, as you would imagine.
Yeah, congratulations, Todd Waters on the Husker rider. Well done. It looked pretty immense out there.
I tell you what, Kate, it was a difficult day for me. I was struggling with the bike and my feeling on the track. The team, you know, we put in a big effort. We went back, we made a heap of changes in that last race. We actually slowed it down, made it softer. I felt more comfortable. I was actually charging through instead of getting past. But man, the two Yemi boys, you know, they rode insane. They had me covered all day. But yeah, I got to thank Husqvarna, Max's Tyres for hooking up, and T-Dub Gear. I brought out the new red stuff this weekend, painted my own helmet. So.
Looking good, my friend. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
And in P2, Aaron Tanti, CDR Monster Energy Racing Yamaha. Congratulations, you rode really hard out there. New team, new bike, well done.
Yeah, it was a tough day, but you know, I was feeling good from the get-go. You know, I hung around the front all day. This is my first MX1 podium, so super pumped with the new team and all the guys, and you know, I'm happy to be here. I'm ready to get out a full season, and I just like to give a massive thanks to the CDR Yamaha Monster Energy team, you know, Dunlop, Fox, Pod, all the boys that, like, all the other sponsors that support me, and, you know, 00 Elite Rider Training, he was down here and he helps me out.
Excellent stuff, Aaron, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, great, congratulations. And in P1, once again, Luke Cloud from CDR Monster Energy Yamaha Racing. Let's go again, right? This is the perfect start to your next championship campaign.
Yeah, I don't think I could, well, obviously I couldn't start it any better. I mean, obviously if I went fastest in qualifying, that would have been good, but I was pretty confident. I had some good laps, but just putting it together. So that last one was tough. So I'm holding my head held high there with that one. I come through the pack and made some good passes, know my fitness is good, and I'm just going to get better from here.
You're sweating hard, you're looking exhausted. Boys, back to you. Congratulations, everybody.
Well, fantastic grab there. Good job to Luke Cloud. All right, well, Mackay in sunny North Queensland is the site for round 2, the Penrite Oils ProMX Championships, where once again we'll bring you all the action in the ultra-competitive MX1, MX2 and MX3 classes, with both track and weather conditions that will surely keep the riders on their toes. Well, thank you so much for joining us here for round 1 of the Penrite Oils ProMX Championships, brought to you by AMX Superstores. On behalf of myself, Lee Hogan, Danny Ham and Kate Cap, goodbye for now.